Today is November 14, 2015, which means that yesterday, Friday the 13th, in Paris, there was a series of attacks against the city. One of which took place at a soccer stadium during a match between the French and German teams. There was a kamikaze bomber that committed suicide with the intent of inflicting harm on others. Excuse me. At the same time, there were either 3 or 4, I can't remember, attacks against various social organizations in the east of Paris, in the 11th and 12th districts. One of them was a concert venue called Bataclan, and the attackers at Bataclan took all of the concert-goers hostage inside the venue and proceeded to kill over 100 people that were present, being held hostage, having done nothing to incite this violence. There were also attacks nearby at restaurants, bars, social gathering sites, one of which, incidentally, is called La Belle Equipe, which is a place that I have been to many times on Friday nights in the evening. I was not out last night. I was home all night, thank God. I did not experience any fear or action firsthand. I didn't see any of the sirens. I didn't hear any of the bullet shots. I didn't hear any of the explosions. I didn't even know about it when it was first happening. I wasn't near my devices. I was reading. And my phone was off, charging somewhere, and my computer was closed, and I found out about it a couple hours later when I checked my phone and people were messaging. I had so many messages from people saying, "Are you okay? What's going on? Where are you? Are you safe? Please let me know that you're safe." And I had no idea what was happening. And as I looked at news coverage, I didn't know what to think. Honestly, I probably still don't know what to think. At that point, my first priority was to let people know that I was safe and to make sure that other people were safe. And then I didn't fall asleep until 4 in the morning. Not because anything was happening in my neighborhood, it was quiet. But how do you sleep after an attack against a city where you live? It's very unsettling. Not least of which because there's already been an attack, 2 attacks on Paris earlier this year, in January. And I think that's one of the reasons that people are taking this series of events so hard, is because after Charlie Hebdo and after the Jewish market hostage situation, people thought that Paris was in the clear, I think. They thought that, lightning doesn't strike twice. If terrorists really do want to sow fear as widely as possible, surely they would go somewhere else, right? But no, it's not the case, because it happened again. And it is almost definitely an instance of terrorist activity. I don't know if this has been confirmed yet, but suspicions from the French government, supported by findings from the United States and the UK, have posited that the attacks are linked to ISIS. I'm not sure if that's true yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if it were. think here's my initial reaction. I don't know about initial reaction. Here's where I'm at right now. I don't want to know about the attackers. I don't want to know about their motivations. I don't want to know what jihad people assume they're on. That means nothing to me. If we talk about them, if we give them names and faces, and we give them associations, and we give them causes, we give them power. And we succumb to the fear that they are trying to instill. I would rather spend my energy caring about the people who lost their lives, and the people who were injured, and the people who lost their loved ones, and the people who feared for their loved ones, and the people who had to crouch in closed down restaurants on the ground because they were afraid that they were going to be attacked next. I would rather focus on the city's recovery and participate in moments of silence for those who lost their lives, and make sure that people understand that attackers do not represent the whole of a population. If these people do indeed represent ISIS, there's inevitably going to be a backlash along the lines of, this is what happens when you leave Islam unchecked. Which is so wrong, I can't even put it into words. When Charlie Hebdo happened, it was either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I can't remember. In one of my classes on Thursday, the day 1 or 2 days after the event, I had a student come into one of my classes who normally wears a headscarf, a hijab, and on that day she walked into class with all of her hair piled under a hat because she was afraid of incurring anger or violence against her purely because she's Muslim. And I just wanted to give her a hug. I can't believe that this is still a state that we live in, that people assume that the actions of 1 or 2 or 4 represent the desires, the ideologies of thousands and millions. What the attackers did is so incomprehensible, so unfathomable to anybody with any sort of moral standard. How could it possibly represent a huge part of our world? It's not possible. So I would rather dedicate my energy to remembering that love and compassion and social justice and all of these things that we hold true to our personal creeds, all of these things are more powerful, more potent, more important, and more impactful than fear and hatred and anger. Because fear and hatred and anger poison us, and we can't handle any more of that. We are already dying as a society, an international, multicultural society. There's already too much of that. We need more love. And we need kindness. I don't know what's going to happen in the city over the next few days. I suspect that people will soldier on, get back to their daily lives, but you'll see it in the city. You'll see there's already been hashtags, Je suis Paris, Porte Ouverte, people expressing the desire for solidarity. And that's absolutely what we should be doing. We should stand united in support of each other, not just Parisians, not just French people, but everybody who hopes for a good, caring community of international citizens. We have to stand united. So, I love you. I'm glad that you are okay. if you are okay. If you're not, I hope that it's not too bad and that you have people that can help you. And keep going.